Okay, hi everyone. This is just going to be a really quick video where I edit Joe and Glenn's data on the Bubble Nebula. Now I know a lot of you have already seen this because I've seen the images shared online, but Joe from Joe's Astrophoto and Glenn from Astrobloke collected 27 hours of data on the Bubble Nebula, and they have very kindly shared that with everyone. So you can go to their videos, you can download the data, and you can edit it yourself. So a huge thank you to Joe and Glenn. It's really kind of you to share that data. This has also come at an excellent time for me because for the last 3 weeks it's been far too cloudy to image. So I'm really looking forward to editing your data. If you haven't checked out or if you're not subscribed to their channels, go and do that now. They're both absolutely brilliant astrophotographers. They produce amazing images. They do some wonderful collaborations with other astrophotographers from all around the world. And they also have some brilliant editing tutorials on their channels as well. So go and check out, go and subscribe to their channels. Again, a massive thank you for sharing your data. And I'm going to jump into the computer now and show you guys how I edited it.
Okay, so this is how I edited the data. Now I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail because Joe and Glenn have both done a brilliant video on their editing process and they know a lot more than me. So if you want some tips, go and watch their channel. But basically this is the data that they shared. So that's the HA, this is the O3 and this is the sulfur. So what I did is I stretched those, so I ran the screen transfer, linear fit, histogram transformation, and then I combined them using the LRGB combination in the Hubble palette. Once I did that, I then ran the dynamic background extraction. I ran the SCNR tool to get rid of the green cast. I also inverted the image and then ran that again to remove the magenta from the stars. And then I got on to the nebulosity. So the first thing I did was use the StarNet tool to take the stars out of the image, and this is the star mass that was created. So I added these stars back in at the end of the procedure, and then I edited the nebulosity. So to edit the nebula itself, I created a couple of different masks. So the first one was quite a large mask, as you can see, which had most of the nebula in. Then I created a slightly smaller one for just this sort of region here with some of the detail around the edge and the bubble, and then one just for the bubble itself. And I applied those masks and played around with the curves basically. So I adjusted the RGB, the saturation, the cyan, I think that is, and the blues and the colors, just to get the colors looking right, or how I think looking right should be. And once I was happy with the colors, the contrast, etc., I moved on to the unsharp mask tool, which just added a little bit of sharpness. Now I only did that to this sort of region here, so I applied this mask and then added some sharpness to this region here just to bring out the bubble and some of these details here. You don't want to go over the top of this because it can look quite nasty quite quickly. So I just did a very subtle amount of sharpness to this area. And then I added the stars back in using pixel math. So just added the star mask and the image back together, which was nice and straightforward. And then the final thing I did before taking this image into Lightroom was run some star reduction. Now, the way I usually do that is using the EZ or Easy star reduction tool. So I've added the EZ or the Easy processing suite as a plugin to PixInsight, and it has a number of different tools which are really helpful. The denoise one works really well, but I find the star reduction one works better than doing it manually for me. So I think it is the morphological transformation, but it works better than me doing it manually. So I ran that, and I just wanted to show you a quick before and after. So this is after the star reduction, and this is before. Let me just minimize that. Yeah, there you go. So this is before, and then this is after. So just a subtle difference, but it's just reduced some of the stars. I think it just looks better overall. So this was just a small amount of star reduction using the EZ or Easy processing suite. So once I did that, once I've made these edits in PixInsight, I then took it into Lightroom to add a few little tweaks to it in Lightroom. Okay, so I'm in Lightroom now and I've just made a few subtle changes to the sliders on the right here, as you can see. So I've boosted the contrast, brought the highlights and the blacks down, added a little bit of clarity to the whole image, and then just removed or reduced the vibrance a little bit because I thought I pushed it a little bit too far in PixInsight. The only other thing I did was added a radial filter to this region, and then boosted the clarity just of this area in Lightroom. So if I remove this, you can see that that's what it looked like before, and then this is it with a little bit of clarity added in. So this is my final image. I hope you like it. Okay, so like I've said multiple times on this channel before, I'm definitely not an editing expert. I do really struggle with this aspect of astrophotography. Being colorblind definitely doesn't help. But go and check out Joe and Glenn's videos, some fantastic tips in there, and I'm sure you'll learn a lot. So I will see you in the next one, where hopefully I've got some data of my own to show you guys.